Welcome to Live from the Archives. I'm Nancy Martin, the library archivist. Today I wanted to talk to you about the fabulous family photograph album belonging to Sarah Jane May Walker. The Archives was lucky enough to acquire this album from Lois May Houston Fosbaugh just this past year. And it came into Lois's possession because her father's family, the Fosbaughs, were friends with Jane Walker Wolfe, who is the last generation that shows up in this photograph album. So the pictures inside the album date from the 1870s until about 1920, and they document 4 generations of the May Walker family who all lived in Peters Township. So Sarah Jane May, or Jenny as she was known, was the eldest of 6 children born to Melinda Ann Fleming and David May. So Jenny, the eldest, born in 1852, her brother David, who went by his middle name Alexander to avoid confusion with his father, whose name was also David, was born in 1853, a brother Samuel in 1857, John in 1859, and sisters Kate in 1864 and Minnie in 1865. So Jenny married David Walker, and in 1882, the two had a daughter whom they named Melinda in honor of Jenny's mother. That Melinda went on in 1904 to give birth to her own daughter, who they also named Melinda, but this time Melinda Jane in honor of both her grandmother and her mother. That Melinda happened to go by Jane so as to avoid confusion with her mother. As an archivist, I'm just asking all of you please to stop naming your children after yourselves or to refer to them by nicknames or middle names because it causes a lot of genealogical challenges for me. Thank you very much. So in the center of the display, we have an image of the beautiful velvet cover of the photograph album. We then have an image of its intricately designed title page and a photograph of Jenny May Walker that actually appears in the album itself. To the left of that center section, we have an image of each of Jenny's 5 siblings. If they were married, and 4 of the 5 of them were, they appear with their spouse. So first we have her brother David May, who went by Alexander. David never married and so is shown by himself. Then we have Samuel and Jenny May, John and Belle May, Kate May and William Bell, Jenny's first sister, and then her baby sister, Minnie May, is shown with her husband, Carson Himiger. Now, unfortunately, Carson would go on to pass away in 1891, and Minnie would remarry a J.F. Hartley. To the right of the center section, I have 4 generations of the Walker May family on display, and those are the 4 generations that appear in the album. So at the top of that section, we have a picture of Jenny's mother, Melinda May. In the next row down, we have a picture of Jenny herself holding her infant daughter, Melinda, and beside her, her husband, David Walker. The next row down has 2 pictures of their daughter, Melinda. One is a 3-year-old and one is a slightly older child. And then it ends with a picture of Melinda Jane Walker, who went by Jane. And this is the most recent picture that appears in the album, and it dates from about 1917, 1920. Although not documented in the album, Jane Walker grew up, and in 1946, at the age of 41 or 42, she married Shirley Bruce Wolfe, a man 13 years her junior. Both Shirley and Jane, as well as Jane's mother Melinda, her Walker grandparents, and her May great-grandparents are all buried in Brush Run Cemetery. And something that's striking about this album also is that it was constructed to accommodate these larger format cabinet cards that became very popular. They first appeared in the 1860s, but reached peak popularity around 1870. They were larger format photographs mounted on stiff cardboard. The front of the card would bear the photograph and usually an advertisement for the photography studio. And then the back of each was very intricately designed. In this case, again, promoting Truxell Photograph Studios. And I must say, as an archivist who looks at a lot of old photos, the south side of Pittsburgh must have been absolutely riddled with photograph studios back in the day because there seemed to be an endless number of them that I come across. Thank you for watching. Please join me again in March when we'll be discussing the wonderful historical scrapbooks created by Peters Township resident Ralph Kessler.